I'm going to put this on my phone. You can't too. Have you got it? It's on. Yeah. We invite you to listen in with us today to enjoy the artists that are just beginning. I'll sit here and watch it. I'll watch old Tim Branstad when he gets on here. He'll be on here. I know he will.
Oh, yeah.
He's a snooper. I had Paul Martin yesterday on for an hour.
Did you?
He's a cool, he's being inducted in the Hall of Fame this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fantastic interview.
Good deal.
Fantastic interview. I've had Steve, it's been probably 8 years ago or so that I had Steve. And I've seen him 3 times since, and he's never forgot about me. You think of ordinary Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Steve. He's a really good guy, too.
Yeah.
Okay, got all my commercials. There'll be 3 breaks that you'll take.
Okay.
And on the break, if you want to talk, I can work over here quietly while you're talking on Facebook if you want to say something or whatever. I meant to ask you, we have, my mother's side of the family have fox blood in there.
So to say all the foxes I'm related to are from White Oak, between Jellicoe and Follett.
These were down at Corbin, and
no, I did meet some foxes down in Corbin, and I don't think any of those guys that were related.
there's one named Frank.
I have no idea.
And we're ready to take off here at WRVK. Good afternoon to you guys and gals as we get ready to take a hold of our stars across Kentucky. Charlie Napier on board with you guys and gals. And our guest, Austin Fox, over here on the other side. Hello, Austin.
Hey, how's it going, Charlie?
I always tell them, Austin, how to get here. I bet you can tell them how to get to this radio station.
Well, I don't know. On the way up, we made a wrong turn. Yeah, I had to go up, turn around, a little one-lane road.
Yeah. Well, the way I tell everybody to come in here is you come off I-75, exit 62. You go northbound US 25, period. No matter which direction you're going, north or south 75. You just come off 662 and you just go northbound and you're going to go right through Renfro Valley. You can't go any other way.
Yeah.
And then out of Renfro Valley, after you pass Renfro Valley, the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, and then you got the Catholic Cap Center down here, bottom of the hill. Red Foley Drive, did you notice the sign, Red Foley Drive?
I did notice that.
That's a very famous Kentuckian from his roots right here in Berea, Kentucky. One of the inductees of the Hall of Fame here. I think he might have been in the first inductions in 2000 there. But a lot of wonderful, famous people here in this region. And that's what we do, Austin, is on this program here, we like to celebrate young people like yourself, and sometimes we get some of the older folks in here, but we like to celebrate the talent that's out here in Kentucky, because one of the things that, I spent a lot of time running around in these hollers and places, picking music, just like you are right now. And so, folks, Austin Fox, tell us a little about where you come from. We know about me, so let's hear about Austin.
Well, I grew up kind of back and forth between Jacksboro, Tennessee, and Williamsburg, Kentucky. So grew up there, went to Campbell County High School. After high school, went to the University of Tennessee, where I spent the next 7 years working on a bachelor's in music education. Was in Knoxville for 2 or 3 more years after that, and then just recently moved back up here to be closer to family and try to get this music thing off the ground.
So, when you went into the music in college, what was your intention on that particular start there?
So I kind of wanted to go into teaching, and then got all the way through the degree, and got a mountain of student loan debt on top of me. And it's,
Yeah.
I realized that teaching's just not going to pay the bills, so had to find something else to do.
Yeah, I understand. I've been down that path. I just don't know which path. We just was on separate paths.
Yeah.
So your musical degree that you got, you didn't waste all that talent and time for nothing. So are you applying it to what you do now?
Absolutely, I use it all the time, especially just music theory knowledge or ear training. Those two things were pretty big with my degree. Just anytime I'm writing a song, I've always got the theory running in the back of my head, like what chord can I go to, what chord makes sense. I feel like the hardest thing that I struggle with is writing melodies, and the ear training really comes into play with that one.
And see, I brought that up just not long ago. We had a singer-songwriter in here, and my question was, how do you come up? He's written over 200 gospel songs, and Rodney, I said, Rodney, how do you come up with all these different melodies? And sort of like what you were talking about, it's
just something that's always running in the background.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, it's running in the background, but it's like I can pull it to the front a little bit. If I'm sitting down with a guitar writing a song, a lot of times it's just random melodies that are just coming up off the top of the head. You sing them out loud and come up with something. If you like it, go with it.
So, how many songs right now have you written in the beginning of your career here?
Right now, I think we've got 3 that's ready to go, and I've co-wrote all 3 of those songs with my manager, Tim Brandstetter. But he sat down, he wrote all the words to it, and then gave me kind of creative freedom and said, put the music you want to it. If we need to change some words around, we can do that too. So, and it's just a process. We sit down with the song, and I'll come up with a melody and some music to go with it, and just try to put it together.
And you gotta have to do that. When you write a song, you gotta have to let the singer find what's comfortable and what fits, and maybe what don't fit, and move.
Because I know we've changed the key of the first song we wrote called "Love You Alone."
Mm-hmm.
We've changed the key that I sang that in probably 6 times since we started.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find something more comfortable and sounds better, and something Tim talks about all the time is songs evolve over time. So just trying to settle into what we're doing here, I guess.
And I'm sure Tim probably, if he's not tuned in, he will be.
Mm-hmm.
But he and I have been sort of on a similar journey as how we got connected into this, and looking out for people like yourself that's out there working, trying to build a musical career. And that's what this radio station is all about, is somebody's career.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really appreciate y'all getting me out here. It's good exposure for me.
Well, and that's what
Especially
we want. We want you to be exposed, and want people to listen to you and watch you grow.
Yeah.
I occasionally have these folks to return back here, and what you look for when they return back is growth.
Mm-hmm.
And in every scenario, I think it's probably been a lot of growth. Watch them see that look in their eye and that desire to learn, to get out there and work. And work is, I think, the key, don't you think? Work.
Yeah.
You got to want to work.
Yeah. Music is definitely not something that's easy. Going through college, I'm majored in saxophone. So I played saxophone all through middle school and high school, and then really focused in on it in college. And one of the hardest things that I had adjusting to, because I never really had to practice for music. I always had a lot of natural talent and could just sit down and play and figure it out as I went. And then, I got to college and went from, kind of a big fish in a small pond to a small fish in a lake.
Well said.
Yeah. And so I really struggled, and one of the requirements with the degree, even just music education, not even a performance degree, was 2 hours of practice 6 days a week. And I really struggled to get in the routine of that. And it takes a lot of work and dedication to get through it.
Yeah, and I think you have to spend not just sometimes, but you have to spend lots of time. It's not just a couple hours a week. It's got to be every night, some, maybe a lot,
Yep.
and sing everywhere you can, go every place you can. And by the way, Tim is on, so you say hello to Tim.
Hey, Tim.
So your first song, what's it going to be?
This first song I want to do is one I started doing at karaoke back in Knoxville before I come up here. It's Blake Shelton's Old Red.
Okay, let's go for it.
Well, I called my wife with another man, and it cost me 99 on a prison farm in Georgia, close to the Florida line. Well, I've been here for 2 long years, I finally made the warden my friend. So he sentenced me to a life of ease, taking care of old Red. Old Red, he's a dangerous dog I've ever seen. Got a nose that can smell a 2-day trail. He's a 4-legged tracking machine. Well, you can't consider yourself mighty lucky to get past the gators and the quicksand beds. But all these years that I've been here, ain't nobody got past Red. When the warden sang, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have you treat for the morning comes. Well, I paid off a guard and I slipped out a letter to my cousin up in Tennessee. Oh, and he brought down a blue tick hound. She was pretty as she could be. Well, they pinned her up in the swampland about a mile just south of the gate. Then I'd take old Red for his evening run, and I'd just drop him off and wait. And the warden sang, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have you treat for the morning comes. Old Red got real used to seeing his lady every night. So I kept him away 3 or 4 days, waited till the time got right. Well, I made my run to the evening sun, and I smiled when I heard him turn old Red out. So I was headed north to Tennessee, and old Red was headed south. And the warden sang, come on somebody, why don't you run? Old Red's itching to have a little fun. Get my lantern, get my gun, Red'll have you treat for the morning comes. There's red hair politics, all in the South. Love got me in here, and love got me out.
Very, very, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, amazing. You got an amazing voice.
Yeah. Well, I've been singing my whole life. You know, Mama sitting over here was always likes to tell the story, you know, sitting around when I was about 2 years old, and, you know, they'd pay me a nickel to play a song. And then when I'd turn my head while I was closing my eyes at a certain part of the song,
This is her.
we'll get Mama on that. But yeah, they'd pay me that nickel to play the song, and then I'd get to a certain point as in the pines, I'd say, you know, make me shiver when the cold wind blows, and I'd close my eyes and I'd shiver, and they'd reach over and they'd take the nickel and they'd pay me that same nickel all day long to sing.
That's so funny. So you went broke, and she never really made any money, but lose any money.
Yeah, neither one of us did, I guess.
Yeah.
Had a good time though, I guess.
That was funny, but it inspired you, right?
Oh yeah. So I always grew up playing music. You know, my whole family. Well, a lot of us play guitar or bass or banjo or piano, or, you know, just pick up an instrument and play. And, you know, I started guitar in 6th grade, and probably my biggest influence has been just family sitting around in the living room playing music.
It's fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
Just
a
plain
blast.
old fun. Yeah, up in Pinckneyville, they don't know how to say yeehaw, but he usually says kick the tire and light the fire. So Gabby just sent you a kick the tires and light the fire there in Pinckneyville, Illinois.
All right.
All right, let's do one more and then we'll take our first break here.
All right.
And are you doing cover or are you going to do an original?
Tell you what, let's do an original.
Okay. Give me a backdrop on it real quick.
So this next one I'll do is called Love You Alone. This is one we wrote. Let's see. It's about, I guess, you know, we've got a couple. And they both really like everything about each other, but, you know, the woman's married. So it's, yeah, it's kind of a love that can't go on.
Facts of life.
Yeah. So, you know, the whole hook of the song is Love You Alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
That's all I'll listen to.
Until then
you alone. I'll love you alone. I'll love you alone.
Love that song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, got some really catchy lines in there. That one about lighting up the room,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that he can't be going down that path.
Yeah.
But she still lights up the room.
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break here. We'll be back with Austin Fox here, definitely Star Power, sitting over here in the chair on Stars Across Kentucky.
On the basketball court, you have to know where the
That's a
lines
good
are.
song.
It's just as important to know where the lines are in your own yard. Kentucky Law
You got
totally
a
requires
powerful
you to
voice. Your voice is
Yeah, and
really.
I still feel like I ain't all the way woke up this morning.
Well, that's, I mean, you know, that's probably about at least probably 50+% of a singer is that projections.
For more information, visit psc.ky.gov. This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
What'd you think up there, Alan Hastings, Gabby?
Quick, friendly service you can expect every time you pull through the drive-thru. If it's breakfast, dinner, or even a late evening meal, Wendy's drive-thru is open from 6 a.m. till 11 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 7 to 11 on Sunday. Stop in for your breakfast picks, favorite combos, chicken wraps,
Great
and
job,
more.
Bubba.
Just pull through the drive-thru for quick, friendly service.
They call you
Place your
Bubba.
order, and you'll be on your way.
I guess some
Serve the
people do.
old-fashioned way of finishing that
Christopher,
order
I
on
like that. Great
256
job,
Renfro Valley Entertainment Center invites you to an evening of music in the New Barn and the Old Barn Theaters. October 11th, Sawyertown, New Barn Theater. October 12th, Still Wolf, New Barn Theater. October 19th,
Tim
New
said,
Barn Theater.
"You're
October
making
25th,
your manager
New
proud,"
Barn
except I
Theater.
rephrased it
October
just a little
26th,
bit.
Kentucky Hall of Fame induction ceremony, New Barn
And,
Theater.
yeah.
November 1st, Marshall
I'm
Tucker
having
New
fun
Barn
up here.
Theater. November 2nd, Exile, New Barn Theater. November the 8th, The Frontman, New Barn Theater. November the
Now,
9th,
his
Trace
venue, I
Atkins, New
forget the
Barn
name
Theater.
of his
November
venue.
15th, Mark Chestnut, New Barn Theater.
Right now he's
November
got
16th,
where he's
Sunday
working
Bass,
with
New Barn Theater. November
the train
22nd,
station.
Noah
Used to be the
Thompson,
Old
New
Phillips
Barn
Music
Theater.
Place.
Yeah,
November
train station.
23rd,
And I think we've got some other
West
stuff
New
in the works in Holla Holla.
December the 6th, Lee Greenwood, All-American Christmas, New Barn Theater. Book the tickets online at renfrovalley.com.
We need to give him a
Music
plug on the
Campground
train
and
station
Valley
when we
Music
come back
Store
there.
on site.
My name is Kimma McKinney, and I serve as Executive Director of Crystal House. Far too many Kentuckians are struggling with addiction without knowing what resources are available to them. If you or a loved one are in need of a treatment center like Crystal's House, you can call the KY Help
See,
Call
I could
Center
pull it
at
up on here and I can see
833
comments.
KY Help, or visit findhelpnowky.org to find resources that are available near you. We are here, we care, and we want to help.
Chris Van Winkle wants to know, do you need any musicians to help you out?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're back with our star power here today, Austin Fox, who is already, knocked 2 out of the ballpark. And Chris Van Winkle asked an interesting question. He says, does he need any musicians to help him out?
Yeah. I think right now that's one of the things we're working on is trying to get a band going behind me. At least a bass and a percussionist.
You do know there's a lot of those people listening and watching this on Facebook. So how would they get a hold of you for you to maybe interview? Now this is not one of those said and done. It's you'd have to talk with them. And,
right now I think you can message my Facebook page. It's Austin Fox Music. I think the profile picture is just my signature in a circle. So just shoot a message to us there on that page, and we can get back out to you.
One thing about it, I mean, you could take a band and, like I said, put the bass in there, the drums, whatever it is you want to put in your band. Every singer has his own touch, his own sounds there, and you would have yours. What's your next song, Chris? I think another song. I'm enjoying listening to you sing.
I think the next song I'll do is a Chris Stapleton tune. This is one that he wrote and was singing. I think Tim McGraw cut the song before Chris Stapleton ever really got big. It's called Whiskey and You. there's a bottle on the dresser by your ring, and it's empty. So right now I don't feel a thing, and I'll be hurting when I wake up on the floor. But I'll be over it by noon, and that's the difference between whiskey and you. Come tomorrow, well, I can walk in any store, it ain't a problem, 'cause they'll always sell me more than your forgiveness. Oh, that's something I can't buy. There ain't a thing that I can do, and that's the difference between whiskey and you. One's the devil, one keeps driving me insane. At times I wonder if they ain't both the same. One's a liar, helps to hide me from my pain. One's a long gone bit true, and that's the difference between whiskey and you. Well, I've got a problem, oh, but it ain't like what you think. 'Cause I drink 'cause I'm lonesome, I'm lonesome 'cause I drink. But if I don't break down, bring it on myself, well, it'll hit out of the blue, and that's the difference between whiskey and you. At times I wonder if they ain't both the same. One's a liar, helps to hide me from my pain. One's a long gone bit true, and that's the difference between whiskey and you. Yeah, that's the difference between whiskey and you.
You just keep knocking them out there. You know, now, I was listening carefully to that song because Stapleton does that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You got your own take on that song.
Yeah, and
It's all a Fox song.
yeah, and that's one thing we've been working on is, you know, exploring what exactly is my sound and trying to, you know, fit songs within my vocal range.
You got it.
You know, when I first started singing this song, I tried to sing it like Chris Stapleton, and I'd screw up all the parts that he'd go up real high.
Always be awesome, yeah.
You know, and then we kind of finally settled into something that I think we've got working for us. So.
I know you've got it working for you. You be Austin and keep what you got, and you know you're gonna get takers on putting a band together. I can already tell you that from this show.
It'd be pretty awesome.
There's folks out there listening right now that would love to have you up front as they play. I mean, we got all the talented guitarists and drummers and, you know, bass players.
Yeah. Well, and it's, you know, I don't really know a whole lot of musicians up in Kentucky, but some of the people that I've met,
Well, you're
the
fixing to
majority of
know.
them,
You're fixing to know a bunch.
yeah, and it's the majority of the people that I've met so far are all really good.
Yeah, it won't be. And of course, by the next time I see you, it's going to be like, so what's the name of the band? you'll have a band and be out here, say, hey Charlie, I've got one I want to send you up here. I want you to listen to it. And
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to that, for that to come. Okay, so your next song.
My next song, I think, let's do a little bit of Johnny Cash for you. I'm going to pull my words up here in front of me before I forget them halfway through the song. Let's see. Do a little Folsom Prison Blues for you. Well, I hear that train a-comin', it's a-rollin' around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since, well, I don't know when. But I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down the San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy and don't ever play with guns. Well, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. I bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking them big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. Well, I know I can't be free. But those people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, well, I bet I'd move it on just a little bit farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away.
Johnny, be proud of you on that one.
Yeah, I'd say Johnny's probably, as far as my sound goes, is probably one of my biggest influences.
Really?
Yeah,
So
which
you-
I've always enjoyed playing his music and singing it.
Well, I've always enjoyed listening to him. I never had a Johnny voice. I never did. I've sang some Johnny stuff, but you got to have that, like you got the Johnny voice. And,
Yeah, you really got to have a voice kind of on the lower end, just to even attempt to sing a lot of his songs and do them justice. But isn't it fun though to be able to share your talent with people? Oh, absolutely. I have a blast doing this. You know, a lot of people talk about their dream job, and you know, playing music and being able to share that with people, and you know, it's a dream come true being able to do it. Yeah.
To be able just to help people to enjoy the night, the evening, and music does that.
Yeah.
And it resonates around the world. You know, we got some German friends that today they're in France. Seriously, and they love music. They tune in, and wherever they go, they tune into this radio station here, and they have flown and sit in your chair from Garner
That's
State.
pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. But that's what you call a country music dedicated lover of music, and we have those folks all over the world. We never know where these people are, but we just know that they're out there, and occasionally we hear from Virginia, or we'll hear from the Carolinas, or we'll hear from Darmstadt, or we'll hear from. Last time I heard from Stephen, he was vacationing in the edge of France. So, but it's fun just to know they're sitting around a campfire, or perhaps just, I don't know what time of the day it is where he is, but they're sitting around listening and enjoying this particular program, and watching it, of course, on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's a whole new. That's a whole new venue out there that we tapped into about 8 years ago, and it's become very, very successful for the entertainers that are coming up here, and we've been getting some of you girls and guys who are coming up here. We've been getting some really quality people up here, and that's really good. Makes stars across Kentucky. So you got another one you've written?
Yeah, that's what I was just pulling up here. We've got one here. This one's called Suzanne. It's about a little old man and an old woman, and the old woman's just come down with dementia, and this is a song that's kind of talking about how the old man's going through that with her, and just experiencing that through that whole experience. Said, what's wrong with me? I don't remember anything. He said, it's okay. Pointed at her ring. He said, you see that ring right there on your finger? I know it's hard to believe, but I put it there. Said I loved you from the first time that I saw you. So I knew just a thing I had to do. I worked all summer long to get the money. I bought that ring. I said this little prayer. I'll do my best and walk the line. If you could just do me this one favor, I'll do whatever it takes to make her mine. Tears in her eyes, she reached out her hand. She said, what's your name? Well, mine is Suzanne. He said, we can just be friends again tonight. Don't matter to me as long as you're by my side. God, I don't deserve what I'm asking. I promise I'll do my best and walk the line. If you could just do me this one favor, I'll do whatever it takes to make her mine. Said I know that this is all confusing. Yes, I know that you are scared. I'll spend every day reminding you just how much I've always cared. Said, God, I don't deserve what I'm asking. I promise I'll do my best and walk the line. Tears in her eyes, she reached out her hands. Said, what's your name? Mine is Susan.
Wow, what a song. That gives you a lot of pause. Man, I was taking that all in. And, you know, Alzheimer's it's a terrible thing. They're making progress on it.
Well,
And,
I watched my great grandmother go through it.
I could tell you had a connection there. It came across. And, yeah, it's a great song. I'd like to have a copy of that one when you make a copy to have here.
I think we are in the works right now. I'm talking to a guy up in Jacksboro about getting into a studio, and if I can get in there and get it recorded, this will be the one we're doing.
Well, that is a great song, and it tells a great story, a real story about America, and it's something that our scientists are working feverishly on to figure out ways.
A lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. Okay, and it's in all of our families. I mean, it's not just a few families. And I was saying that, you know, it's been in our families. So you never ever know, but you got to really just be there with them, for them. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing a series of shows, and it touches on just that here in the last little bit on Chatter That Matters. Let's take our final break here, and Austin Fox has been a phenomenal star on Kentucky's Stars Across Kentucky today. We'll be back with Austin.
Rockcastle County Rockets football this Friday night.
I love that song.
Pregame at 7 p.m. Kickoff at
Deep.
7:30 p.m.
It is.
between the Rockcastle County Rockets and
But it's
the
real.
Liberty Central Raiders.
You know, it's funny when we sat down to write that song, or when, you know, Tim was talking, he said,
Football brought to you by
you know, I think that was one he said, I don't know how good of a song this is actually going to be. And then came up with a melody for it, and, you know, we liked it, but it wasn't what we wanted. And then I got on the phone with Mama, and she was, and she's like, that's a sad song. It needs sad music. And then...
But you see, I didn't get to... I got a different feeling, I guess, than sad. I got a feeling of love of that person who cared for this person, his wife. And obviously they cared deeply for this person, and they'd always be by their side. And yeah, I mean, it does have that sad tone to it, but it's a real life thing that's going on. Yeah. And that's what you have to understand. I mean, you know, we don't know who among us will be in that particular condition. But you know, I go down and, you know, sing sometimes to the rehab centers and things like that. And it's interesting how, you know, music brings back memories for these folks. And so that's a powerful song, though. Okay, this will be your final spot here in the middle. You'll have 10 minutes after this. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
For upcoming events.
All right, back we are with our guest here today, Austin Fox, and Austin has had some intriguing singing here today. A very, you know, well, I guess, groomed up singer to be. I mean, you've got it going on, and you need to just get some songs and get out there and get that band together, and you'll be on the road as hot as you can go.
And be the dream.
And it will be, yeah. And I'm glad to see you young people, you know, chasing your dreams like that. And, always give it your best every night, everywhere you go, and you'll be working doing all the shows you want to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I've done a lot of performing in my life. On, like when it comes to band, saxophone, I've done a lot of performing with my horn, but, it's a completely different beast when you're sitting with a guitar in front of you and singing through a mic.
Interestingly enough that you said that, I would encourage you to incorporate that in your band, when you get a band, to have a saxophone piece in there or two.
Yeah, no, and it would be, I think it'd be really fun to do that too.
We now have another Boots Randolph here.
Well, believe it or not, old Boots Randolph, actually the guy that's got the studio up in Jacksboro, his dad, as I met them about 10 years ago, his dad, when I started, when I first started playing, it was his dad that actually got me to choose the saxophone as the instrument to start on, and he burned off a Boots Randolph CD and gave it to me. And I listened to that CD on repeat for probably 6 months straight.
Yeah. Well, you got to put that in your band. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's important. I have seen in the valley. I don't know whether it was the Foley boy that brought a saxophone there one night at a show, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah, well, and old Merle Haggard's got that. I think I'll just sit here and drink, or stay here and drink, or whatever. And he's got a pretty killer saxophone
I
solo
think
in that song
Nick
too.
was his name.
Yeah.
All right, we got just a little time for 2 songs, so I'm going to let you go ahead and line me up 2 right now, because I want to let the audience enjoy your talent here.
All right. If I've only got time for 2 more, I guess I'll do. Let's see. I'll do one more original for you, and then we'll end it out on some wailing. All right. So this next song is called "Be a Better Man." All I wanted was a Mustang the day I turned 16. Daddy said those things ain't cheap, you gotta make a lot of green. Well, I don't think he meant growing plants in our backyard, saving up, making minimum wage seemed way too hard, 'cause this life ain't easy. Nobody said it was. You gotta find somebody to love, find someone you trust. You can't always walk the line. You gotta do the best you can to wake up every morning, be a better man. Always wanted to walk on the right side of the law. Seemed the harder I tried, well, the harder I'd fall. But I spent some time at the county jail, and I can tell you it was my own fault, trying to have more than I needed. One day I got caught, 'cause this life ain't easy. Nobody said it was. You gotta find somebody to love, find someone to trust. You can't always walk the line. You gotta do the best you can to wake up every morning, be a better man. But I found someone I trust. She's the one I love. She makes me a better man. She's the one I've been dreaming of. 'Cause this life ain't easy. Nobody said it was. Yeah, I found my one to love and my one to trust. I don't walk the line. Yeah, I do the best I can. Wake up every morning, be a better man.
Well, I want to copy that one too.
I think that can be arranged. We can get it out to you.
Just like that. And that's your original too, right?
Yeah, that's the last one that we was working on, I think.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I want to copy that. We'll spin it right here on the radio. What's your last one? We got time for one.
I thought about doing a Waylon song, but I think I want to do Boy Named Sue. Get something fun.
Okay, yeah, that's a fun song.
So I do get a lot of requests for it. So let's see. Here we go. Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to my ma and me. Just this old guitar and an empty bottle of booze. And I don't blame him 'cause he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he went and named me Sue. Now he must have thought that it was quite a joke and that it got a lot of laughs from lots of folks. Seems I had to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and then some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. Well, I grew up quick and I grew up mean. My fists got hard and my wits got keen. Roamed from town to hide my shame. Well, I made me a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonks and bars, and I'd kill that man that give me that awful name. Well, it was Gatlinburg in mid-July, and well, I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew. At an old saloon on a street of mud, he was there at a table, dealing stud. Such a mangy dog you thought to name me Sue. Well, I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that my mother had. Knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Sue. How do you do? Now you're gonna die." Yeah. Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes. Well, he went down, but to my surprise, come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. Then I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the walls and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I tell you, I've fought tougher men. Well, I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and he bit like a crocodile. Well, I heard him laugh and then I heard him cuss. He went for his gun and I pulled mine first. And he stood there looking at me and I saw him smile. He said, "Son, this world is rough, and if a man's gonna make it, he's gotta be tough. I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name and I said goodbye. And I knew you'd have to get tough or die. And it's that name that helped make you strong." Said, "Now you just fought one heck of a fight, and I know you hate me and you got the right to kill me now. Wouldn't blame you if you do. But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in your guts and the spit in your eye. 'Cause I'm the son of a gun that named you Sue." Yeah, what could I do? Well, I got all choked up and I threw down my gun and called him my paw and he called me a son. Come away with a different point of view. And I think about it now and then, every time I try and every time I win. If I ever have a son, I think I'm gonna name him Bill or George, any old thing but Sue.
Oh, Lord. Great job.
Thank you, Joe.
You've been a great guest here today, Austin, and for sure, I want to let you know right now, before I jump into the news here, we want to invite you back again in the spring of the year, all right?
Hey, sounds good to me.
Sound good to you?
Absolutely.
We'll make that a date here before you leave. Right now, as we move along, Stars Across Kentucky is at its conclusion. Our guest today has been just awesome, very talented Austin Fox. And how do they get in touch with you real quick?
Just check out my Facebook page. It's Austin Fox Music, or you can shoot me a message on my Facebook page or Mr. Tim Brandstetter. Just reach out to one of us. Let us know what you need.
Thanks for joining me today for Stars Across Kentucky, a program showcasing the entertainers who are